also please you. And thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Prabhupada says in the purport, the demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, so we just stop here, because otherwise we can't really follow what's going on here. So the idea is that we have a God on the top, and then we have under there demigods. Some people have objected to the usage of the word demigod. You could just call them gods also. Apparently demigod was a Greek term, which meant those who had both human and divine heritage, as far as I understand. Well, it doesn't matter. In our context, it just means lesser gods. It means they're not the supreme god. You could call semi-gods also, semi-gods. That will be even lesser down. Yeah. So that would mean angels, celestial musicians, what do you call them? Yeah, let's just call them aliens. Yeah. There is descriptions like, Kinaras, that's angels. Celestial musicians, they're Gandharvas, aliens. It would be something like half man, half ape. I think they're called Kinaras, such as the monkeys who helped Lord Ram in the Ramayana. Or when we talk about aliens in another sense. Could mean any kind of body which is not from Earth. Yeah. So they're called semi-gods. And even ghosts could be here actually. I'll take them away, because we really don't see ghosts doing service. But angels, celestial musicians, etc., they're doing service to the higher gods. And then down here we have humans. Now I'll just write this very clear. Only on planet Earth. Yeah, only there. There are other planets. Then you have the semi-gods, angels, celestial musicians, aliens, etc. They're on higher realms. Demigods are on the higher realm. That's such as Indra, king of Indra, the king of heaven. Yeah. You have some gods called the Vasus, who are in charge of different elements. The elementary gods. Fire, water, air, like that. And then below there, you don't need to put anything below there. But the idea is that humans, they have to work to get blessings from the higher. If they don't, humans have to do something to get blessings from the hires. Yeah. Or God directly. So these activities for getting blessings are called yagya, sacrifice. Okay, so now we try to explain a little bit. So from there we can go on. So Prabhupada is explaining now their pleasures and displeasures, so that's of the gods, they are dependent on the performance of yagyas by the human being. Some of the yagyas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yagyas as the chief beneficiary, because as you saw, he is higher up in the food chain. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yagyas, bhuktaram yagyatapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of the yagyapati is the chief purpose of all yagyas. The yagyapati, that means, what is the meaning of yagyapati? Pati means leader. So, sacrifice, chief. Yeah. So that means, of course, supreme God, Lord Vishnu. Yeah. When these yagyas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. So what are the natural products? It's air, is fire, or you can say sunlight, just sun, yeah, water, food, because you have to say plants, yeah, yeah. That's natural products. So you have, for example, then who is in charge of getting us air? That's a wind god, Vayu. So if we are behaving nicely with him, we have good air. Yeah. Sun god, is Surya. So if we have a nice relationship with the sun god, we will not get burned by him too much in the summer, or freezing too much, that we're not getting the sun in our life. It's not joking, actually. It is, according to the scriptures, it is like that. Our relationship with each specific demigod may actually have something to say how we're feeling in these departments. Of course, devotees are not so much into dealing with the different demigods, maybe to ask them to get good air, good sun, or plants. That's coming from moon god. Water, coming from Lord of the Waters, is Varuna. In the Vedic culture, and still today also, many are taking this very seriously and strive to have a good relationship with all the gods. And personally, I'm pretty sure that's improving, their material life. That's how it's supposed to work. As we just... Actually, we're reading it right here. See here. Next verse is saying, in charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yagya sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. Bunkte stena yavihisa. So the word stena means thief. So Krishna is just saying it straight out. It's thievery if you are getting all these things from the gods, and we're not reciprocating, we're not doing any sacrifices, But wait a minute, how do we do sacrifice? We don't have any clue how to do all these things. We just asked to do one sacrifice, and that is to chant the holy names of the Supreme God, who is above all the demigods. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's it. Now we just did the sacrifice called Nama Yagya, or Sankirtan Yagya, like that. So let's just see what that is. Yeah, if we take a look at the purport, is Prabhupada saying the demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yagas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yaga prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. That's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It has been explained that he is a person. He is above. Krishna is saying that in the Bhagavatam. Am hi deva devanam. I am the deva of all devas. But for one who cannot understand that, who didn't read the Bhagavad Gita, didn't hear this information, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yagas are recommended in the Vedas. We'll just stop there and look at just the basic setup. If you can remember this, let's see. Just give me 1 minute. How does this thing work? Please just give me 1 second. I'll just have to find out how these things were working. So you have the Vedas are giving, for everybody who's into, the Vedas, Hindus, the Vaishnavas, devotees, Shiva worshippers, it's all kind of the same outline. Not just kind of, it is really, because we're all basically using the same setup, the Vedic setup, of action, karma. So here we now talk about karma in the meaning of action. We're not talking about reaction. Karma can mean both action and reaction. Okay. So now we're talking about karma, just meaning action. So one is nitya karma, nitya karmas, or just nitya karma. So that is daily duties. Daily routine, you could say. Or to say it more Vedic way, you can say daily rites. So, for example, having Mangalarti, right? Getting up before the sunrise. Or you can say for the Brahminical class, you can say, for example, Sandhya Vandanam. It's at the junctions of the day, junctions of in between the night and the morning, in between the morning and the day, in between the day and the evening. It's called sandhyas. Twilight. In the evening, for example, there is a sandhya there. So Vedic Brahmins, they will do this rite where they are chanting Gayatri mantra and some other mantras also. So, or you can say for devotees in general. Let's just make it more easy. Let's just get it home. Yeah, it's stupid of me to put that example. We have an example which we all can relate to, which is chanting 16 rounds. Yeah, it's a daily rite. Yeah. So that's nitya karma. So here nitya means not eternal, but something that's always going on. Every day is the same thing. Yeah. So in that way, you can use the word nitya. And then you have naimitika karma. Yeah. So that is not going on every day. It's rights in connection with particular things. Yeah. And then you have, for example, according to a particular time and place. So you can, for example, then have Krishna Janmashtami. Yeah. Or let's have actually, it's a better example is. Yeah, I'm not too sure it fits there. Maybe it fits under. No, probably it will fit there. Naimitika. So you can say occasional. Yeah. So let's see if we can find an example of that. I need to do this correctly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's now I found some good example here. Yeah. For example, funeral. Yeah. Death rites. Yeah. Antiesti. Is that what called antiesti? Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Antiesti. So it means. The funeral, yeah. For example, that, or what else do you have? Sometimes, birth ceremony, yeah. Etc. Yeah. Yeah. So in that way, so both of these are called obligatory. And then you have which is not obligatory, and that is called kamya karmas. So that is according to a specific desire. So do we have any examples of that? Let's see. well, there's a given example here. I think Prabhupada is mentioning that also in the there's a sacrifice called Yotisht Homa. Yeah, Homa means a fire sacrifice. So it's a fire sacrifice for reaching the Jyotish, the light. It's for coming to heaven. So there is nobody asking anybody to do that sacrifice. But you can do it if you like. If you're very eager to go to heaven, you can get into doing Jyotishtoma like that. But about what we have been given, by our guru, for example, chanting 16 rounds, there is no, is obligatory. Yeah, and also, particular things like birth ceremony, funeral. These are just things which are, to be done. Just as duty, and there is no specific, reward. With no expectation of reward. Yeah. Isn't it true? There's no expectation of reward. Sorry, with no expectation. Yeah. These are done as duties. At least they're supposed to be done like that. You have, birth ceremony. It's just, of course, it's auspicious. But even, one is just doing it. Just like people are also having, the funeral. There's no thinking about, we do it just to get a reward. No, it's just because that's the right thing to do. Chanting 16 rounds is the right thing to do. Reward or no reward. Does it make sense? Kamya karmas is really is a desire to have a result there. And then you have you also have a kind of karmas for getting rid of sins. Maybe that. Yeah, we can just mention that. Gita. For getting freed from sinful reactions. It's yeah, I don't know so much about it, but it is explained that's also a specific thing. Of course, he said that chanting Hare Krishna mantra is so auspicious. It covers for that also. One is also getting rid of sins by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So in this, there are the desire for a reward, both of these. And then we have a third category. So here is with the desire of reward. Yeah. And here we have a third category. It's just bad. Simply bad activities. Nishida karma. Forbidden. Such as drug abuse. Criminality. Yeah. So when we talk about the kind of karma here to satisfy the demigods, I guess they will count as obligatory karmas. In the Vedic system, that daily one would do. We can take a look at like how it was done in the old days. It was daily obligatory duties for grahasta. So that way, this is for devotees. For Grahastha, they were supposed to do, daily, sacrifices in the household. And one of them mentioned here is, the Sandhya Vandanam. Yeah, that's like very basic for everybody. Yeah. And for devotees, chanting 16 rounds. Yeah. You can say Mangalarti also. Yes. In the Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam Katha, yeah, etc. For devotees, Bhagavatam is one of the 5 most potent forms. So in that way you also have, deity worship. Yeah. It's daily rites to be done by devotees. So, Grihastha Brahmanas. Yeah, like for Vedic Grihastha Brahmanas, yeah. Who follow, the traditional path. For devotees, they're not so much into, you can say, this Vedic Grihastha duties always. But at least, we're doing Vaishnava duties, chanting 16 rounds, have Mangalarti, deity worship, Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Seva, etc. Yeah. And also the worship of demigods could be included then for, the Vedic Grihastha Brahmanas. They are doing that. Actually, Sandhya Vandanam in itself is by Gayatri Mantra, one's worshipping the sun god. If one is worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu directly, however, that would suffice, as we will see later here. So Prabhupada is saying, worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature. And before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yagas are meant for gradual promotion to a transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yagas known as Panchamayaga are necessary. Yeah. So that's Panchamayaga. What are those? Let's see, what were those again? Sometimes these lists are not the same for all. It's like basically we can take it in another way. We can write it like we have depths. We have Rini depths. Yeah. Rini. Yeah. Depth to the following 5. So that's the the rishis, the devas. Let's begin with the devas, the rishis, the pitris, the bhutas, and the manushya. Yeah. So it's like that. So it's yeah. Manushas. Yeah. See if we get this properly here. So who are the devas? Devas, those, the gods, yeah, who supply, all nature to us. That's, air, plants, fire, water, etc. These are all the gods who are giving, thus we have adapted them. Renis. Yeah. And then the rishis. Now they are, the sages, the original sages, who gave all knowledge since beginning, yeah. So all the knowledge we have now, we are indebted to them actually. So I just write original knowledge. Yeah. I will not explain too much. It will take too long time to get into this, but I hope we get the idea that all the knowledge we have is originally coming from the rishis. For example, you have the knowledge about farming, called Rishi Krishi. As we have the word Krishna, it means to pull, attract, or Krish also means to plow. So plowing or farming, it's called Krishi. And then the Rishi is giving the book how to do the Krishi. So it's called the Rishi Krishi. And in the same way, one Rishi is talking about how to take care of the different animals, such as animal husbandry in the farm, like taking care of the horses. The book about that. All books are in Sanskrit. Or you can say small treatises may just be 20 verses or something, giving you the essential idea. And then other acharyas in the line of these sages, they can expound upon that. So in that way, if you trace back, you will find all the original. You have knowledge about all different kinds of things. Psychology, it's very physical things, and of course it's spiritual things. So all three levels of existence: the physical level, the astral level or mind, heart level, and then the absolute spiritual level. All three levels we are getting knowledge from the sages. The whole language is given by the sages. Sanskrit language was the first language according to Vedas, and so on. So all comes original from Brahma. So they are, successors of Brahma. Yeah. So Brahma is the original first created being. So Pritis, Pitris. Yeah. Pitris. That's. Yeah. So these are the forefathers, and we have debt to them because without them we wouldn't have been born. It's a bloodline. You can say yeah, for a long time I haven't really understood what really the Pitris But there, you know, is including our parents and all that, and sisters. What can you say? It is traditions. Yeah, let's just call it that. Traditions and blessings. Our forefathers, including our parents, who gave our culture, traditions, yeah. Yeah. And then the next ones are bhutas. So these are the living entities, such as animals, animal, birds, insects. Without insects and like that, we have many plants who wouldn't blossom. Yeah. So so animals. Let's just call them animals, including insects. So I would just say who, you know, support all life, growth, and ecosystem. Yeah. Did we take then? Yeah, 4. We have now 5 manushas. That is humans. Yeah. So, you know, we are all helped by other humans who are, you know, they're always there for us. So how do we pay the 5 debts? Well, basically, the devas, you are doing fire sacrifices. The rishis, should I write that also? I can do it. Yeah. So how to pay debts? Yeah. I pay in how to pay, or what? Yeah, the traditional debt paying here. To the above 5. Yeah. What is this called again? It's Pancha Mahayagya. Yeah. Pancha Mahayagya. So it means to do sacrifices to 5. Pancha means 5. Yeah. So devas by fire sacrifice. You say Vedic fire sacrifice. Yeah. And the rishis, one is doing Vedic study, scriptural study, and also sharing with others. That should be included in that. For Svadhyaya. Svadhyaya. Is that how you write it? So Svadhyaya is also including having festivals. For example, celebrating Krishna's appearance day, having Krishna Katha, talking about Krishna on this day, doing, you know, the traditional celebrations in the temple, supporting the temple, you know, having the Bhagavad Gita in your home, reading, you know, chanting sometimes the slokas. You can have, you know, chanting every day, 1 chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, just the Sanskrit, if you don't have time for more, or just a translation. This would constitute, you know, paying the debts back to the rishis. Yeah, they are happy. They gave us all this, so they're happy, you know, when we use what they gave us. This is a yagya. And then you have pitris. How do you satisfy the pitris? By which kind of sacrifice you do to them? It's called pinda. It's like a Vedic. It's all Vedic actually. Pinda, or you can say Shraddha, sacrifice. Yeah. So that means to I should write Sanskrit in the parenthesis. Yeah. Pinda, Shraddha. Vedic rites for the dead. Yeah. Yeah. Taking care of their situation in the afterlife. By doing a pinda or shraddha sacrifices, they are being fed. Yes, they have something to eat. They are happy there. If we are doing, our rites for them, that's the idea. And it's supposed to be done by the son. That's why, it was important to have a son in the family lineage. Because the man in the family is supposed to do this Vedic sacrifice and rites on behalf of the wife and children and the forefathers also. And thus, blessing, the lineage. So it was a great, deal of responsibility for the man in the family. So that way, the son was called the putra. The person who is going to putra. One definition I saw, put was supposed to mean the lower planetary system, where Yamaraj is handling justice to the jiva. He can punish the jiva for being bad, but if you have a good son, then you're delivered from above the Yamaraj. Yamaraj is the lord of death, or lord of justice. So we'll have a nice stay there, and after some time, after the prescribed karma, purgatory has been finished, the jiva is then again born in human society. If the son in the family didn't do any rites for the Peter's forefathers, then the person, the dead ancestor will not have such a good time. Yeah. As we will learn, if we become Vaishnava devotees of Vishnu or Krishna, then actually the Petras are happy. They are being, blessed by that. The rishis will be happy. The devas will be happy also. And also, what was the next one? Bhutas. That's all the living entities. Like at cow, we have debt to the cow because we're getting milk. How do we pay that debt? We can do something called barley offering. You can call it Vedic. We don't need to use the word Vedic. It's just offering, sharing food. Well, you can call offering food to animals, insects, etc. It's called barley offering. Yeah. Doesn't need to be a whole huge meal. Of course, in the West, this is not allowed because they say it brings rats. You could even get a fine, if you give some excess prasadam, to birds. So what to do? Better do the Hare Krishna mantra as overarching sacrifice of our life. And Devas, Rishis, Pitris, Bhutas, and also Manushas, they will be happy. I will pull up a verse which says that, which we probably quoted many times, which says that actually if we become a proper devotee of Bhagavan Krishna, then all the traditional 5 debts, they are paid, and we are not debtor to these 5 after doing the yagya called the Nama Yagya, or just to be a devotee. That's a yagya in itself. So Manushas, so how do we, they are always there for us, different humans. Say for example in Norway we're living in a nice society where, you know, if you get sick or something, the society will take care of you. You will get some help from the society. If you can't work, you get, you know, sick leave payments. Anything happen to you, you know, the police will come try and help you. So they're always, you know, there to help different human beings, family members, friends, or even strangers in the street. They are ready to help you at any time. We have debts to all humans. So in that way, it's called atiti, or feeding. I will take the Sanskrit out. Feeding guests. You can say unexpected guests, or you can just say guests, etc. So even the unexpected people coming, which you never saw before, to feed them would constitute atiti seva. Yeah. And that's one of the 5 yagyas, sacrifices. So these, you know, we should be ready to do every single day. So, you know, fire sacrifice every day to satisfy the demigods. Some Vedic study in some form or another. Read an Upanishad, read the Bhagavad Gita, whatever. Chant something loud. You will satisfy the rishis. Take care of the pitris, the forefathers. Offer something to the animals. I'm not saying we should do this because it's not allowed here in the West in many places. Even to give, you know, a small breadcrumb to a bird is technically not allowed in most places. But anyway, that's the original sacrifice. When I'm in India, I see this is happening all the time. Like householders, they put out, you know, some little, you know, too much burnt chapatis. They just put on the doorstep, and I saw that many places. Some excess, you know, food they didn't eat themselves, they just put there. And the stray dogs, in India there are many dogs who don't have owner, and also cows are walking around, they just eat that. So that's, you know, the bali offering right there. Then Manushas, at least this is not illegal. Any guest is coming, we feed them without any grudge. That's very important. One should actually think of them as Vishnu. Atita Deva Bhava. The Taittiriya Upanishad says that the guest, unexpected guest, we should view as Deva, to be like God. Mata Deva Bhava, Pita Deva Bhava, mother and father should also be viewed as God. So a lot of respect, in other words. Acharya Deva Bhava, the teacher, is also like God. So it means just you respect him as God. One should respect the people. One should respect everybody. Other places it said that actually everybody you should respect. Krishna says that in the 11th canto, that he's the jiva. We should respect every single person, just as we respect Krishna, because he's there as the super soul. So all these 5 things we can then do. It can be, you know, done by the, can be accomplished. So all the above 5 can be, you know, accomplished simply by chanting the holy name. Yeah. Yeah, I just need some more space to write here. This in one line. Can be done That's called then Nama Yagya. So let's see, now we have a verse for this. For everything we say, we should have some reference to the scriptures. Otherwise, it's just coming from the top of our own head. But it should have, pramana. Pramana means evidence. Shabda pramana. It should have some evidence from the scriptures. So let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we have it. Yeah, this is a verse. Devarshibu tapta nrinam pitrinam nakinkaranai merini charajan. So here we have them 5, yeah? Deva, Rishi, Bhuta. This says also Apta. So Apta means, as far as I remember, family members. Nrinam, it here means Manusha. The same, Nrinam means humans. Pitris are there. Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, human beings, and Pitris. That's all 5, right? Na Kinkaro. You don't need to serve them or are their debtor, the rini. The word rini, which means debt. It's actually a very, very important word in the whole scheme here. Yeah. Debts we have as humans. Yeah. Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gatu mukundam paririta kartam. So here it says, if we surrender fully, sarva atma, we surrender our soul to the shelter of all shelter, Mukunda, Krishna, all these debts have been paid, all these duties have been done. Yeah. So I'll just have a translation here. This is not from database, but it is a correct translation. Anyway, O King, one who has relinquished one's duties and taken shelter completely in the ultimate shelter of Mukunda is neither a servant of nor a debtor to the devas, the rishis, other living beings, relatives, humanity, or ancestors. Yeah. So we'll continue with Srila Prabhupada's purport. So which verse was we're going really trying to understand these things. I hope you understand something. Yeah, text 12 in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now we'll continue reading what Prabhupada says. One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod ancients of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything like this. We are getting everything from the demigods. So then we go in the very end of the purport. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of Yagya, namely the Sankirtan Yagya, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. So there you have it. Nama Yagya is also called Sankirtan Yagya. So we'll just put that up here. All the above 5 can be done by chanting the whole name. So instead of calling Nama Yagya, we can call it Sankirtan Yagya. Kirtan means to glorify the whole name of the Lord, or glorify the Lord. So then next verse. Yagya shishta shinaha santo muchante sarva kilbishai bunjate te tuagam papa yepachante atmakaranat. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyments verily eat only sin. So here's a word about prasadam. Prasadam means the yagya shishta, the remnants of sacrifice, is called prashadam or mercy. And eating that is purifying the consciousness. Or you can say the bhava. Because where is the sin? We will talk more about that after reading a little bit of the purport. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called santas, and they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The santas, being always in the compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees are always perform yagyas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtan, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. Yeah, these are called Nava Anga Bhakti, the 9 limbs of devotional service. And these performances of yagas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Okay. So we mentioned here about the food, and then also Prabhupada is expounding the concept that it's not only eating. The devotees are doing so many different kinds of sacrifices, including the sacrifice of the foodstuffs. So you have that Nava Anga Bhakti, 9 limbs of devotional service. Nava Anga Bhakti. Yeah. So what are the 9? The Shravanam, the hearing, chanting, remembering, deity worship, or just worship, worshipping. Vandana is prayers. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, worshipping the lotus feet. Yeah. Of the Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam. So here then it means deity worship. That means the Murti Seva. Yeah. That means you actually have a physical form of the Lord to worship. Prayers, dasyam. That means, dasyam means just service. Yeah. You can say seva. Yeah. That often is to serve another devotee. For example, Guru Seva. That is counting as one of the 9 limbs of devotional service, or service in the temple. Not only deity worship, but just helping out, like in a very humble way, washing the dishes. Sakyam. That means friendship. And then Atma Nivedanam, self-surrender. Complete self-surrender. Yeah. Was it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. And let's see what Prabhupada writes more. Others who prepare food for... it was about food also, this verse. So the deity worship, Murti Seva, is including food offerings. Yeah. So the food offerings then will be eaten afterwards. Should not be thrown away. Should be eaten. And that food is then blessed. And if one is cooking only for eating oneself, that is stated in this verse 3:13 to actually be sinful. Bhungte stena eva hi saha is the eating of the thief. Now, how can you do such a complicated thing as making a food offering every time you're going to eat? You need a bell, you need a plate. You need, to have the Archaman cup to purify, yourself and the offering. You need to be cooked, in a pure way. Nobody should have tasted it before. Some rule is even that, nobody else should even, smell or watch your cooking or desire, your cookery, because it's supposed to be given to the Lord first. It may be very difficult to have this practice, as normal humans in normal society. Well, then we have the very nice help that you can do all this in your mind. Yes, if you cannot do it physically, you can do it mentally. It's called, devotees usually say, to offer it in the mind. It's very, very, very normal for devotees these days. And it's covering the concept of making prasad, actually. It just needs to have that focus and dedication and loving trying to please Krishna. In the mind, we can put everything ready for Krishna and do the offering of the foodstuffs. So, of course, in our own home, we may want to have, specific offering plate for Krishna, and we have a bell and we say the mantras. So in that way we can be free from the karma. Yeah. Because otherwise there is a karma in the food. Yeah. Anyway, if you do Sankirtan Yaga, chant the holy name of Krishna, we are, rectifying everything actually. So Prabhupada says, therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtan Yaga. He says easy process, because actually even offering food may not be so easy actually. As I mentioned, you need to have, a certain amount of purity, and some paraphernalia need to be there. But if you chant Hare Krishna mantra, as in the Sankirtan Yaga, that's the most easy. That can also be done internally, by the way. And we can be peaceful in any situation. We can get our food offered, and we can get the Lord's prasadam through the food, and thus be purified instead of being sinful. So next verse talks more about the food also. Anad bhavanti bhutani paryanyad anasambhava yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yaga, and yaga is born of prescribed duties. Yeah. Yeah, so as we mentioned before, Prabhupada says in the purport here that, a little bit down in the purport, he says that demigods like Indra, Chandra and Varuna are appointed officers who manage material affairs. So I mentioned actually that Indra, before he is the king of the heavenly planets, Chandra is another name of the moon god. He is in charge of the vegetables and our mind also. He's giving nourishment to the plants, so that they actually have nourishment for us when we're eating them. And Varuna is the god of the waters. So Prabhupada says, and the Vedas direct sacrifices to satisfy these demigods, so that they may be pleased to supply air, light and water sufficiently to produce food grains. Yeah, so Indra is the Lord of the heavens, so the rainfall is also regulated under his command. He needs to be pleased by us, and we can please him by simply chanting Hare Krishna mantra in the Sankirtan Yagya. And then there is no need to do direct worship of Indra for having regular rainfall, as exemplified by Krishna himself in the Leela of Govardhan. The father of Krishna wanted to do sacrifice to please Indra, but Krishna said this is not necessary, you can just offer everything to the Govardhan hill. Govardhan is known, Krishna says, as a great devotee of Bhagavan, of God. And in that way you can just worship the mountain instead of worshipping Indra. And of course the mountain is also another form of Krishna himself. So in that way Krishna was worshipped instead of Indra. And Indra became mad because he didn't get his expected worship. His Vedic worship was not done. And so he gave too much rainfall, drowning the inhabitants of Vrindavan almost. But Krishna, he protected them by keeping the Govardhan hill on his little finger so that the rain could no longer flood them. He kept it above the Vrindavan area so that all the rainfall was falling now on the Govardhan hill. And he held this mountain on his little finger for 7 days. So the purport of this Leela or episode is that Krishna he will protect his devotees, you can say, from the demigods, so the demigods cannot attack the devotees. Even though the devotees may not offer anything to them, they're offering everything to Krishna, then Krishna is satisfied. He will make sure that the demigods are in line and supporting the devotees. So as Prabhupada says, when Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods who are different limbs of the Lord are also automatically worshipped. Therefore there is no separate need to worship the demigods. I'll just separate here so we can read that very clearly. Now we just read a couple of verses. We said that we actually have a debt to the demigods. But if we are worshipping Krishna, there is no debt anymore to the demigods. So Prabhupada says, for this reason the devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna consciousness offer food to Krishna and then eat, a process which nourishes the body spiritually. Yeah. And what is that food called? As we can read in the end of this above paragraph here. Prabhupada says, the material world is full of contaminations, and one who is humanized by accepting prasadam of the Lord, that's food offered to Vishnu, is saved from the attack, whereas one who does not do so becomes subjected to contamination. So just to really make this very clear for us all, it's called prasadam. The concept of prasadam. Yeah. So, 1. Prasadam means mercy. Yeah, that's a direct meaning. Food offered to Krishna transforms into Krishna's mercy. To be accepted, to be eaten by us. And then 3, so this prasadam purifies us, purifies our consciousness. Thus it is called karma free food. Yeah. So there is no karma there. It's free from karma, both good and bad. In other words, so it means transcendental actually. The food, the prasadam, food is transcendental. Is transcendentally, transcendentally nourishing. Yeah, Nourishment means to give energy. It gives transcendental or spiritual energy. So one advances in spiritual life. Or let's just say bhakti, because that's what we are after in bhakti, devotion, by vowing, taking a resolute determination to eat only Krishna prasad. Yeah. Yep. Okay, then we go to the next. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarva gatam brahma nityam yagya pratishtitam. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Person of the Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Yeah. So whatever we are going to do, let's try and do that as yagya, as a sacrifice. Because Prabhupada says, yagyartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the Yaga Purusha, Krishna, now Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Vedas. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called vikarma, or unauthorized or sinful work. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reactions of work. Yeah, so we discussed that before, that there were, I think a repetition is not bad to do, because there's interesting and necessary concepts. I'll just actually copy-paste this. Hope you excuse me for that. But I think it's not bad to do that. What I wrote before here. Yeah. The Vedic setup of action karma. Just copy paste this and take it down here. So to be saved from the reaction of work. So first of all, there is the obligatory action. So there is no expectation of reward. When you're doing duty, you're just doing duty. So nitya karma is the first one. Daily rites. Such as for devotees to chant 16 rounds, Mangalarti Gita version Bhagavatam Seva, or for those in the Vedic line, they do Sandhya Vandanam, prayers, Sandhya Vandanam ritual, yeah. Yeah. And then you have the second one, Naimitika karmas. So these are all to be done to not get sinful reactions. Obligatory to avoid sins. Yeah. So the Vedas are saying if you don't do these things inside, the framework, the Vedic framework, then basically it's giving sinful reactions. Yeah. Then they're called vikarma. So following the Vedas would then be, punya. And then you have with the side reward, then you can do kamya karma. For example, do something to try to get to heaven. Or perhaps chitta karma for getting freed from sinful reactions. Some different sacrifices are given there in the books. And then you can say the pure vikarma, you can say. Sinful action is called nishida karma, such as drug abuse, criminality, etc. Such as killing. No. There is a drinking. Yeah. 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 So that's why taking Vedic directions is saving us from the reaction of work. So it makes I can just write under here. So Vedic directions. The following Vedic directions. That is, punya karma. Yeah, it means pious activities. Now, not following. Working outside Vedic directions. Working outside, let's just say it in a more broad way. Working outside, religion. It's called, papa karma. Sinful activities. And then you have spiritual activities, which are the most important. So you see what I did there? It is possible to do actually activities. They're actually also approved by the Vedas, but they're not, the Vedic rituals, but they're spiritual activities. That could be, bhakti. There actually are bhakti. They are akarma, transcendental activities. So in other words, one can be saved, you can say, from doing, from being into all this, you can say, difficult Vedic sacrifices and activities, rites, by doing transcendental activities, bhakti. So that is devotional activities. That's the idea of devotion is higher than everything else. And it will be free from both good and bad reactions, because it's neither pious nor sinful. Does it make sense? Please tell me in the comments. Or here we have it. Oh, Tanvir Das, thank you. I'm sorry if I'm late I didn't see your question before now. Krishna did not give knowledge of Gita ji. His father called himself as per chapter 11 verse 32. Yeah, he's called Asmi. Yeah, visit Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj YouTube channel to get complete spiritual knowledge, as he is Tadarshi saint according to Gita ji, chapter 4 verse 34 and chapter 15 verse 1 to 4. Okay, we can look there later. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your comment. Yeah. Well, I would say that Krishna, he gave the knowledge of the Gita. As he is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, I would say that he is giving the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Okay, so where are we now? As one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state, one similarly has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Asyamato bhutasya nishvasitam etad yad rigvedo yajur veda sama vedo atarvangirasaha. The four Vedas, namely the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda, are all emanations from the breathing of the Great Personality of Godhead. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4, 5, 11. Yeah. The Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air, for as it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, the Lord has the omnipotence to perform through each of his senses the actions of all other senses. Yeah, so this is said in the Brahma Samhita. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. So in that way, if we offer food to Krishna, he can eat that just by looking at the offering. Yeah. So in the end of the purport, Prabhupada says, but the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to God having finished his so-called enjoyment. Yeah, so a lot of Vedic directions is, they're called punya karmas, But they may be, for material desires, to be happy materially, even going to heaven is material desire. They can be satisfied, but even then one can continue working to get bhakti to the Lord and then go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada says it is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. Therefore the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yagya by becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness. And that will take the place of performance of Vedic yagyas or karmas. Did you see that one? That's exactly what I said before. But even though we cannot follow the Vedic path of yagyas, we can, everyone, all of us are eligible to practice Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Yep. And thus get liberated and just get perfection. Yeah. As Prabhupada says here, that will take the place of the performance of Vedic yagyas. That's a very great statement. Yeah. So these karmas I mentioned before. Nitya karmas, namitya karmas. Naimitika karmas. These obligatory duties that we do daily or we do in certain occasions, such as the dasa samskara, the 10 samskaras before childbirth, after childbirth, marriage samskara, death samskara. These we are to do. That's obligatory karmas. Even if we fail at that, if we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we do bhakti yoga, getting Krishna's prasadam, we can still get perfection. This is a special mercy given by Krishna. I will soon conclude. I'll just look at our Bhakti Shastri schedule. Actually, this is the last verse, 16. So we'll just finish that one. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayatiyaya. Nanuvartayatiyaya. Aghayor indriya ramo bhugam partha sujivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Yeah. This is called the chakra, the circle of sacrifice. We can live a circle of ignorance also. The whole world is full of chakras spinning. As I've explained before, once you start a project or even an idea, that's the chakra starting to spin. And we may get eager to do different ideas, and that means we are getting into, you can say, a chakra of thought. It can even be a group of people, they have their own chakra spinning. You can join a group. That's a kind of a mood, a vibe. And then if you quit that group, still this chakra will spin in our life because the momentum is there. But after some time the spinning will be less and less, and then in the end it will stop, and then you're into another chakra spinning. So to join the Krishna chakra spinning, that is called the Leela chakra. That means one is getting into Krishna's Leelas, Krishna's pastimes. And in that way one can leave the overall chakra of the material world called the samsara or chakra of repeated birth and death. Yeah. So Prabhupada says the Mammonist philosophy of work very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned herein by the Lord. Yeah. One should work hard for Vishnu. Yagya vai Vishnu. Yagya means Vishnu, and Yagyartha karmanon yatra lokayam karma bandhana. If we don't work for Yagya, for Vishnu, then we are getting bound by the karma. And especially if one wants to, as Prabhupada says here, therefore for those who want to enjoy this material world, the above-mentioned cycle of performing yagas is absolutely necessary. So you can say this is still, just for being happy, for avoiding getting punished on the material plane, we should join the chakra of doing daily sacrifices. One who does not follow such regulations is living a very risky life, being condemned more and more. By nature's law, this human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization in either of the three ways, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga. There is no necessity of rigidly performing the performances of the prescribed yagas for the transcendentalists who are above vice and virtue. So again, it's back to that point we have made before. Sarvatmanaraya Sharanam Sharanyam Gatumukundam Paririta Kartam. If one is actually a devotee of Krishna, one doesn't need to do these prescribed yagas of the Vedas. The Prabhupada says, but those who are engaged in sense gratification require purification by the above-mentioned cycle of yaga performances. So there is a hint there then that to be engaged in satisfying the senses is not the highest level of human life. Thus the sense gratification needs to be regulated by Vedic sacrifices. Prabhupada says there are different kinds of activities. Those who are not Krishna conscious are certainly engaged in sensory consciousness, therefore they need to execute pious work. The yoga system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious persons may satisfy their desires without becoming entangled in the reactions of sense gratification verbs. Actually, I want to just pull in now the verse about prasadam, because a lot of the talk today was about prasadam. So actually, before we take prasadam, we're usually singing a mantra. A song given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not a mantra, it's a song. It says Sharira Avidyajal. Let's see if I can get the whole verse up here. And it says that this human life is a entanglement of senses. The tongue being the worst of them. Yeah. So here it is. Sharira Vijajal Yodendriya Takal Jeep Levisha Sagare Tarma Jejivati Lomoy Sudurmati Takyata Kadin Samsara Krishna Boradoymoy Koribari Jivajai Swaprashadam Dilbai Siamarita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagav Premadako Chaitanya Nitai. So this is the Prashadam song. So Prasadam prayer to be sung before honoring prasadam. Blessed food. The blessed food of Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. So of course time, place and circumstances. But this is anyway a good remembrance, because it actually tells that we are bound up by our gratification of our tongue. But if we offer the food to Krishna, then we can remember Krishna and actually be gradually purified from actually being led by our greedy tongue into repeated birth and death. So it's a very important practice amongst devotees then to take prasadam. So it says, "O brothers, buy, brothers, This material body is a network of ignorance. And the senses are one's deadly enemies. So Sharya Avidyaja. This material body is a network of ignorance. That's the first one. Yudendriya Taikal. That means the senses are deadly enemies. Kal here means deadly. And then Jiva Pale Vishaya Sagare, then the Jiva, because they throw the soul into the ocean of material sense enjoyment. That's Jiva Pale Vishaya Sagare. So the soul there is the Jiva. Yeah. I just mark it here, pardon me for doing that. It's just to show the distinction between the two Jiv here. Because the other one, Tarmaje Jivati, sounds like Jiva, but it's a different thing. That means the tongue. So amongst all the senses, the tongue is the worst, most voracious and very wicked. Lobomoy Sudurmati. Sudurmati means wicked. Durmati means wicked mind. Yeah. Takyata Katina Samsara. It's very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. Yeah. So here Katina means difficult. And Samsara means in this world of Samsara, repeated birth and death, the tongue is difficult to Gita, to win over. To conquer. Like that. Conquer. Yeah. 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 So this to conquer is difficult in this world. Yeah. Krishna Bharadoyamoy. So then, oh brothers, Lord Krishna is very merciful. So like that. Koribari Jiva Jai. So just to have this tongue conquering, just to conquer the tongue, Swaprashadan Dilabai. He has given his own prashadam. Prashad Anna. Yeah. His own prashadam, food. Yeah. Anna means food. His own mercy in the form of food. Dilo, by. Oh, there it says by, brothers. Yeah. Yeah. Senamrita Pao. Now, therefore, brothers, please eat these nectarian grains. Anna Amrita. Yeah. Nectarian food. Eat this nectarian food. The Radha Krishna Gunagao. You know, the glories, the gunas, the glorious qualities of Radha Krishna. Yeah. Sing the glorious qualities of Radha Krishna. Gao means to sing, like Gita, Gao. And then Premdako Chaitanya Nitai. And also, in love, call out the names of Chaitanya Nitai. Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai. Usually we say after the prayer, we say Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai. Yeah. So, in that way, Prabhupada says, the prosperity of the world depends not on our own efforts, but on the background arrangement of the Supreme Lord, directly carried out by the demigods. Therefore, the yagyas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Yeah, so the gods are doing all these things to give us light, to give us heat, to give us water, on behalf of Krishna. So Prabhupada says, Indirectly, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness, because when one masters the performance of yagas, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. But if by performing yagas one does not become Krishna conscious, such principles are counted as only moral codes. So it is good to do this to satisfy demigods, but if we satisfy Krishna directly, then the demigods are automatically satisfied, and there is no need then to worship the demigods separately. So Prabhupada says, one should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness. So then, text 17, which we'll start on next time, we'll just read it now to make it complete. Krishna says, Yastu atmaratir eva syad, atmatriptas chamanava, atmaneva chasantushtas, tasya karyam navidyate. So karyam means duty. It's a very important word. So you can say Krishna is now, reconciling the whole situation by saying, but for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. He just said 2-3 verses that you have to satisfy the demigods by doing yagyas, doing sacrifices. And we mentioned there's 5 different rini or debts we have, and they are paid by doing 5 different kinds of sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices. But now Krishna is saying, if we are doing the sacrifice of self-realization to become conscious of the self, which Krishna will explain later, that self, that higher self is him. If we please Krishna, we will please ourselves also. Yasmin tushte jagat tushte. The whole universe is satisfied if you satisfy Krishna. So Prabhupada says in the purport here, a person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Just see here. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many, many thousands of yaga performances. So we'll stop there by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. So, see you next Friday for the next part of Bhakti Shastri.